I'm just making a video, that's all.
Okay, well this is restricted area. So
Restricted how, sorry?
That bit over there is fine.
Which bit over the way,
Because you see where the barrier is,
Yeah,
so you shouldn't really be walking.
Welcome to UK Police Files, where we examine real encounters between members of the public and the police by breaking down the law. Today's footage comes courtesy of Auditor, so be sure to support the original creator by subscribing to his channel and checking out the full video through the link in the description. In this episode, Auditor is peacefully filming outside Wiltshire Police Headquarters when a sergeant approaches to challenge an activity that the auditor maintains is entirely lawful. What begins as a routine public audit soon develops into a detailed discussion about police powers, public filming, and the limits of lawful authority. As the conversation unfolds, the auditor responds to each concern by referencing the legal framework, creating an encounter that raises important questions about leadership, legal knowledge, and how officers should engage with informed members of the public. Let's take a closer look at exactly how it all played out.
I'm just making a video, that's all.
Okay, well this is restricted area. So
Restricted how, sorry?
That bit over there is fine.
Which bit over the way,
Because you see where the barrier is,
Yeah,
so you shouldn't really be walking in this area.
But I thought I was allowed to. I mean, I didn't cross any barriers or gates or anything, I just walked in.
There's a barrier
Yeah, but
down there.
for cars though, there isn't one for the pedestrian access, is there?
If you don't mind,
Sorry.
I'm just asking you to move out of the way because you haven't got a pass and I don't know who you are.
I know, I understand that, but I'm just also letting...
It's not public.
It is, it's a police station.
No, this isn't public.
This is the police station.
Yeah, I know it's a police station.
So it is public.
It's not a public police station, it's the headquarters, so it's not somewhere for the public to
No,
come.
I think you misunderstand me. What I mean to say is, this place is funded by taxpayers' money.
Yep.
I'm a taxpayer, which effectively, if we're going to split hairs, and I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but effectively this is my grounds. I mean, you couldn't trespass me from here because I'm on public land.
Well, this is private, so I'm asking you to leave the area.
Sorry, but this is not a private place. This is a police station. This is the police headquarters.
The sergeant begins the encounter by claiming the area is restricted, even though the auditor appears to have entered without crossing any barriers, gates, or clearly marked access controls. Whether an area is legally restricted depends on the specific legal designation of the site, not simply on an officer's assertion. Certain sensitive locations may be protected under legislation, such as the Serious Organized Crime and Police Act 2005, but those restrictions generally rely on formal designation and clear notice to the public. The sergeant also argues that the headquarters is not open to the public. While access to buildings or secure operational areas can lawfully be restricted, that does not automatically mean publicly accessible land or open areas surrounding the premises become off-limits. The encounter quickly turns into a dispute over where the legal boundary actually lies, highlighting the importance of distinguishing between genuine security restrictions and assumptions about police property.
And I believe under Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act 1972, I have the express right to be here under my implied rights of access. I've just come in to make a little video for my YouTube channel. I have a lot of people who are interested. Sorry, if you let me. Sorry, if you let me finish. Sorry, if you let me. Sorry, if you let me finish.
That's private and confidential.
Okay, that's fine. But I was just saying to you, before you interrupted me, that I was going to make my way through there, film the marked police vehicles as I was, and then I'll be on my way.
Okay, well, over there then.
Yeah, please don't give. Listen, please look. I hate.
Not here.
Excuse me,
but
you're not directing traffic right now. Can you please stop pointing and waving your hand? I'm not a dog. I'm a human being.
I know, and I'm
okay.
Asking you
I haven't been rude to you. I haven't been rude to you, miss.
I'm asking you politely.
I know. And now you're
raising.
And now you're raising my voice. I haven't been rude. I've just said to you that I'm going to go through that way, and you're trying to. No, because I don't have to. I haven't broken the law. So stop giving me directives. I'll do as I please. Don't give me directives. I have not. Why are you walking right behind me? You're causing me harassment, alarm and distress right now. I am doing what this... No, I won't. I'm going to walk at my own pace. I told her... No, I haven't broken the law. Why? I have not broken the law. So why would I follow her instructions? You're out of your jurisdiction, Sergeant, with all due respect.
The discussion then turns to the legal basis for filming in a public place, with the auditor referring to legislation and legal principles that he believes support his right to gather information in an area open to the public. Rather than addressing those legal arguments directly, the sergeant shifts the conversation to an ongoing high-risk missing person investigation, suggesting it as a reason for the auditor to leave the area. While operational concerns can sometimes justify police requests, any restriction on a person's lawful activity must still have a clear legal basis. In this encounter, The auditor voluntarily agrees to reposition himself, yet the sergeant continues directing him to move to a specific location. If no legal power exists to compel compliance, those instructions remain requests rather than enforceable orders. The exchange ultimately highlights the difference between police advice, operational preference, and lawful authority, a distinction that lies at the heart of many public audit encounters.
Follow me, please. All right, and also, no, but I'm not on private property. A couple of other things as well. Your body camera is recording, and in your policy, it says that you will tell the member of the public when you activate your body camera. Furthermore, you will take your hands out of your pockets and stop with your slovenly behaviour, Constable. Okay? Get your hands out of your pockets, sir.
My camera is recording.
Yes, it is. You should have told me that you were recording before you approached me. So everything I have said before this point will be treated without prejudice. Do you understand?
There's no prejudice.
Thank you. So, I am being followed by these police officers.
You can't go in certain parts of the police station, okay?
Okay.
Simple as that.
But it's a police station. It's funded by the public.
Yeah.
It's ours.
Certain
We
parts
own it.
You're allowed to go to.
Yeah,
okay?
but it's policy that restricts us, not law, sir.
Okay.
So I follow law.
What can I help you with?
Nothing. I didn't intend on any interactions. I just walking around. I told you I would like to look at some marked police cars. I have people who have an interest in them.
Even after Ed moves to what appears to be an openly accessible public area, the interaction continues as another officer follows and begins recording the encounter. The auditor questions both the purpose of the recording and whether the officer clearly communicated that it had started. Body-worn video is intended to promote transparency and accountability, and police guidance generally encourages officers to make people aware when recording is taking place, whenever it is practical and appropriate to do so. As the conversation continues, the officer repeats the sergeant's position, while the auditor argues that internal police policies should not be confused with enforceable law. That distinction is important because although policy guides how officers are expected to act, it does not automatically create legal obligations for members of the public. The exchange ultimately becomes another debate over the difference between institutional procedures and the legal powers that officers can actually exercise.
So I'm okay here, yeah?
Well, ideally...
No, not ideally, ma'am. I feel like we got off on the wrong foot over there, but let's stick to law. If you don't want people to go around there, you need to gate it. Because otherwise people are just going to go there because... And you know why, Sergeant? Because we have the lawful right to under Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act 1972. If I can walk through it without crossing a barrier by opening it, climbing it, or moving around it, I am free to enter it. You know this, Sergeant.
It says no unauthorised access.
I understand that, but it's a civil matter, isn't it?
So therefore, because of our threat level, we have
what
to
threat
question
level?
those
This
that aren't...
disproportionate, ma'am.
The threat level is that I don't know who you are because you're not wearing a lanyard, you haven't got any identification.
Yeah, I do have ID, you haven't asked me for it.
Well, I'm about to, but it got into a slight altercation over there.
Well, yeah, but I feel like you escalated that.
Okay, fine.
But we can agree to disagree because I know what police are like. I heard this lady speaking to the gentleman over there, and she tarred me with the same brush as what your generic your generic handed down information is given. So, and I heard her say that.
As the conversation continues, the sergeant appears to shift from arguing that the auditor is acting unlawfully to suggesting that he simply should not be in the car park. That change is significant because it moves the discussion away from legal authority and toward personal or operational preference. The auditor responds by asking the sergeant to identify the legal basis for her instructions, reinforcing the distinction between what an officer would prefer someone to do and what the law actually allows them to require. The sergeant then raises security concerns, suggesting that the auditor's lack of an official identification lanyard contributes to the perceived risk. While police are entitled to remain alert to genuine security threats, security assessments are expected to be based on objective indicators and established procedures, rather than a single factor in isolation. The exchange ultimately highlights the importance of ensuring that restrictions on lawful activity are supported by clear legal authority and evidence, rather than assumptions or preference.
But if your front door was open, you wouldn't just want me to walk into your front door?
But legally you could.
No,
yes, you could.
No.
If my front door is open,
we can't.
Listen.
We can't.
Sir, excuse me.
Into your house.
Sorry, Michael. You may not be as a police officer, right? But everybody on this planet who walks this planet with 2 feet, has an implied right of access. If I leave my if I leave my door open and somebody comes in my house, it could be construed as aggravated trespass. It could be. However, the black and white of the law says if my front door is open, anybody may walk in until I revoke their implied rights of access.
Because you obviously know a lot about legislation.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't be able
enough to stay safe, at least.
Yeah. You wouldn't go up to the office window and film through the window.
Well, I would if I wanted to, because I wouldn't be breaking the law if I did that. Because
you know what I mean? That's kind of things that's gonna.
I'm not gonna be here to. I'm not here to purposely antagonise anybody. So I'm not going to do anything purposefully to antagonise anybody. Right. But I will exercise my rights, and I will defend my rights vehemently if needed.
The officer then attempts to compare the situation to a stranger walking through the front door of someone's home, but the auditor argues that the comparison does not accurately reflect the legal position. In UK property law, there is a long-established principle of implied right of access, which generally allows members of the public to approach an unobstructed entrance for lawful purposes, unless that permission has been clearly withdrawn. The auditor maintains that this differs significantly from entering private premises without permission. The discussion then shifts to filming through the station's windows. As a general principle, UK law does not automatically prohibit recording what is plainly visible from a lawful public vantage point, although the legality of any recording will always depend on the specific circumstances and the location involved. The exchange ultimately illustrates how important it is to distinguish between property rights, privacy expectations, and the legal limits of public photography, rather than treating them as if they were the same issue.
Get your details, just...
No, I haven't broken the law. You can, are you asking me for ID?
Look, see, as a cops, we give you permission for us to be featured on any videos.
You've got your faces covered. Your public officials, your crown
case. There you go.
Your crown, sir.
I still don't give you permission, okay?
You have no expectations of privacy in a public place, dude. So,
well, I'll just remind you that I haven't given you...
You're ex-army, aren't you?
I'm not ex-army, no.
Sure. I've just had a really nice talk with Michael, and I've come over. It just seems like police just can't help but give directives. Like, stop giving directives to people who haven't done anything wrong and go about your business. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, as I said, just please don't pass the bollards.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to come past the bollards. Okay? What's your number anyway, you young buck?
70.
And your name? Are you sure?
Sure.
Do you suspect me of terrorism offences? Then you absolutely do have to give me your name, sir.
The arrival of another officer introduces a fresh disagreement over the rules surrounding filming in public. The officer suggests that permission is required before he can be included in the recording, while the auditor challenges that claim by referring to the well-established principle that members of the public and the media are generally entitled to film police officers carrying out their duties in public places. Police guidance has long recognized the role of public recording in supporting transparency and accountability, although officers may still take action where a specific legal power or operational necessity exists. The discussion then turns to identification, with the officer providing only his shoulder number when asked for his name. The auditor questions whether there is any legal basis for withholding that information in the circumstances, arguing that exceptions are limited and usually relate to situations involving genuine safety or operational concerns. The exchange once again highlights how misunderstandings over legal powers, police policy, and public rights can quickly become the focus of an otherwise routine encounter.
Take 270.
Yeah? You based from here as well, are you? Yep. You based here, are you? Are you based here? Are you based here? Can I see your warrant card, please? And you have to give me 3 forms of ID. You've given me your number and your uniform, so either give me your name or show me your warrant card. How long have you been a constable?
Tell you.
Huh?
I don't have to tell you.
No, but what you do need to do is know the law and your policy. And your policy states that when a member of the public asks you to identify, you will identify with 3 forms of ID. I will accept your uniform. You have given me your number, so you will either show me your warrant card or you'll tell me your name, sir. Or you will receive a complaint.
You're more than welcome to put in a complaint.
Okay, that's fine. Off you go then.
Okay, thank you.
You're no longer required. When a constable you are around acts outside of his remit, You should say something, because you know what I said earlier, and you questioned me and you said actually it's not all officers, but when a good officer doesn't say something to a bad officer, that makes him just as bad. Yeah, of course. You don't.
The encounter concludes with another disagreement over transparency and officer identification. When asked additional questions about his posting and identification, the officer declines to provide further details, prompting the auditor to argue that this response falls short of the openness the public expects from those exercising police powers. While police officers are required to comply with professional standards and identify themselves in certain circumstances, the exact legal obligations depend on the situation, relevant legislation, and operational guidance. The auditor states that he intends to make a formal complaint, emphasizing that accountability mechanisms exist to review concerns about officer conduct. Regardless of the outcome, interactions like this demonstrate how quickly public confidence can be affected when communication breaks down and legal powers are disputed. As the auditor continues filming without further intervention, the encounter comes to a quiet close, leaving viewers to consider whether the officer's actions reflected the standards of professionalism, transparency, and accountability expected in modern policing. If you found this breakdown informative, be sure to like the video, share it with others, and subscribe to UK Police Files for more detailed analysis of real police encounters and the laws that govern them.